call to order the August 20th Milford City Council meeting. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Jackie, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Mayor Evans,
Here.
Vice Mayor Parrish, Mr. Velardo,
Here.
Mr. Price,
Here.
Mr. Thompson,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Here. I have a motion to excuse Mr.
So moved.
Parrish.
I knew what you were trying to say. I'll make that motion.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Velardo,
Yes.
Mr. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Thompson,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes. All right, and we are starting off tonight with some positive news with a proclamation. So if I could have the Starting Blocks Foundation meet me at the podium. Yes. Maybe I'll just take it out. All right, so as a former lifeguard, this is very near and dear. So it says, whereas Rachel and Matt Maston have started Starting Blocks Foundation in Milford, and whereas the foundation's aim is to prevent childhood drowning through water safety education and removing any financial burden by providing reduced cost, basic survival swimming instruction, and whereas the organization is organized and operated exclusively for charitable and educational purposes under Section 501c3 of the Internal Revenue Code, and whereas the foundation is bringing awareness that drowning is the leading cause of death in children ages 1 through 4 and is the second leading cause of unintentional injury death for children ages 5 through 14, and whereas drowning kills about 4,000 people each year in the U.S., and whereas Starting Blocks Foundation is looking to do their part to change this because drowning is always preventable. So now, therefore, I, Lisa Evans, on behalf of my colleagues on the Milford City Council, and by the virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Milford, do by recognize and welcome Starting Blocks Foundation. Well, congratulations. Hear a little bit more if you want to tell us a little bit more about your program.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Mayor Evans. Thank you, City Council, members of the administration, and members of the Milford community. My name is Matt Maston. I am a resident of Milford, and again here tonight representing Starting Blocks, a 501c3, as you said, launched here in Milford, of which I am the vice president. Again, we already kind of went through the statistics, but drowning is the leading cause of death in children 1 through 4, and the second leading cause of death in children 5 through 15. And so, again, we are trying to do our part. Again, our mission is aimed at preventing childhood drowning through water safety education and reducing or easing the financial burden for families in need of assistance by providing reduced cost basic survival swimming. Simply put, we are trying to remove the barrier of children so that children can learn how to stay safe in the water. Pleased to announce we have partnered with Operation Give Back and Lori's H2O Skills, excellent facility here in Milford, to have 5 swimmers go through swim lessons already, and we haven't even formally launched yet. So that's one of the reasons we wanted to come tonight, was we are hosting a launch event at the Lemming House in Milford's Community Park on September the 19th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And so we would like to invite all of you to come out and join us as we kick off Starting Blocks formally. You may hear about other national nonprofits with similar missions as Starting Blocks Foundation. However, we are trying to make a difference right here, right now in the community which we live and work. And so we're also ensuring that 100% of our donations go towards our mission. And so I'm joined by our board here tonight, as you said, Rachel Maston, who is our president, and Susan Kelly Fernandez, who is our secretary. We also have Justin Roberts, who is our treasurer, who was not able to make it this evening. Our board is not monetarily compensated in any way. We are giving of our time, talent, and treasures to support our mission. The fact that we already have 5 children going through kind of shows you that there is a need in the community for what we are providing. So in closing, I would encourage you to come out on September the 19th, celebrate the launch of our event or the launch of our foundation with us with some light bites and a silent auction fundraiser, of which many local businesses in Milford have already stepped up and provided items for that silent auction. In the meantime, you can partner with us. You can learn more about our foundation by visiting our website, startingblocksfoundation.org, where you can also, if you know anybody that is in need of a scholarship, they can go onto our website and fill out the application to receive a scholarship as well. So I do have invitations to pass out to all of you, and then I'll leave some in the back of the room as well. But again, hope to see you on September the 19th for our launch event. All right?
Thank you, congratulations.
All right.
All right, we will move along to our public hearing to continue the public hearing. I thought she was going to read it. Sorry, go ahead. I know. She's like, no.
Bring Christine up anyway, see how.
Sorry, Jackie, go ahead.
So it's to continue the designated outdoor refreshment area, the DORA, and provides code section 4301.82. I-1, 5 years after the date of creation of an outdoor refreshment area, the legislative authority of the municipal corporation or township that created the area under this section shall review the operation of the area and shall, by ordinance or resolution, either approve the continued operation of the area or dissolve the area. Prior to adopting the ordinance or resolution, the legislative authority shall give notice of its proposed action by publication in one newspaper of general circulation in the municipal corporation or township, or as provided in section 7.16 of the revised code. We did have a legal ad, public notice in the Claremont Sun, ran 2 times, so that was part of the public notice for this DORA, for the continuation of our DORA.
And we're not are we adding anything currently or not yet?
No.
We're just continuing the same as
Every
we
5
are.
years,
Okay.
yes.
Any
Do we need a
questions?
motion to?
Motion to,
Yeah, I'll make, a motion, is it 5 years? Is that the max we can do?
Is that-
Yeah,
Yes.
For an additional 5 years?
Okay.
Second?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
yes.
And Mayor, based on that, then we'll bring legislation on the 3rd
Yes.
September.
Right, that's what I
Yes.
said.
Because Ms. Bain and I were talking about that today, and that's right within the goalposts of the timeline. They have to be presented in terms of the public hearing requirements and the, excuse me, the ordinance to either vote to continue it or to disband it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, that takes us to proceedings. Do I have a motion to approve the regular council meeting proceedings from July 16th?
Real quick, do we have to close the public hearing?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Second?
I guess I didn't officially open it.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes. All right, now do I have a motion to approve the regular council meeting proceedings from July 16th?
So moved. Second?
And second was? Okay, Mr.
Yeah.
Price, sorry. Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
And do I have a motion to approve the special council meeting proceedings from August 9th?
So moved.
Second?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
And that takes us to financial statements. Do I have a motion to adopt the June 2024 finance report and receive the July report?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Right, and that takes, right before public comments, actually, we have an update, I believe, from Branstead or Carroll. Did you want to present anything or go over the update?
saw some of you all a week ago. First, I want to introduce Joe Dillon from our office. He's involved in your work as well. Can you hear me all right? I don't feel like I can hear the microphone myself or the speakers. We laid out a kind of a project status sheet, presented it last week when we met. It's what we typically hand out, go over with the city manager and people we work with at the staff level. Two important things on here, if I could just hit on it real quick. One is the water tower's out for bid. Jamie, the chief, will get with you next week and bring you up to speed on that. The other is on the grants. We applied for OPWC grants for ultraviolet at the wastewater plant. And then last week, Dave Walker asked me to look into the EPA grant that's due shortly here in September, I think, for these wastewater plant projects as well. He and I are meeting tomorrow, and I'm also going to meet with Joe Castillo, go over a couple things on the water tower. But we appreciate y'all's business and wanted to keep the lines of communication open. We're kind of at a critical point. Jack and I have gotten to know each other, but just good to meet with you. And got any questions, I'll answer them. If you have other questions during the week, you can always go through Jamie or Jack. He'll give you my contact information.
Anybody have questions this evening?
Just as far as progressing, are you satisfied with how it's progressing, or?
Yeah, we're moving forward. We are.
And then any anticipation, obviously costs have changed since we first started this project. In your past experience here, what should we anticipate?
That I thought about that as I sat down, and we'll update the estimate. We have a $3 million grant on the water tower. I assume that's what you're referring to.
Yes, sir.
And we always knew that there was going to need some more money, and that's something I would like to sit down with Jamie and just dig into the details of it. Steel is an interesting thing right now. It can vary a lot. There's only a handful of water tower contractors in the country.
Okay.
So sometimes it's timing what else is out there. And if we're hitting a downturn in the world economy, steel tends to go down. So we'll just have to see. There's some positives to when things go down as well as when things are growing.
So what I heard is you're going to say it's going to come under budget.
No, I didn't.
That's what I heard.
Raise your right hand.
At least you're telling me that now, and
Oh,
not
okay.
after we opened bid. I don't think so, because we always knew we needed more money.
Okay.
And but the $3 million seemed like a good round number to go after when the grant became available. You can tie me down more next week.
All right, well, thank you. We appreciate the
Thank
you.
update.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate you coming. All right, that takes us to public comments. Would anyone from the public like to make a comment? Come on up. Just state your name and address for the record, please.
Not that she needs an introduction.
I know.
but yeah.
I think we all know, but.
I'm Marty Kleinfelder, and I live at 202 St. Andrews Circle, Milford, Ohio.
And I am Amy Pritz. I live at 114 Lakefield Drive.
And we are here tonight to represent the Historical Society, and primarily, we are the chairs of Art Affair. And we came to thank the city. This has been going on for 18 years, and from day one, the city has supported us in many, many ways. 7 years ago, or probably 8 years ago, we suggested coming to Main Street. And you jumped in and helped us, and it helped us grow. This event is a great moneymaker for us, and we could not have done it without all of your support. This year, Shannon Roll has been a great help to us, and Jay from maintenance could not do it without him.
Yes,
He always
he's a
has a
saint.
good, we don't even ask him, he says, I got an idea for you. And it is great. And the mayor is gonna help us open the ceremony again this year on September 28th at 11 a.m. And we thank the fire department and the police department, because they help on that day also, and before, to make it a safe event for everyone.
And I'm the number person, and I wanted to let you know just how much we've grown. From a mere 39 artists on our property, this coming year we are over 145 artists this year.
Nice.
Thanks to your allowing us to expand to Elm Street, plus some remeasuring of the street that I
Many times.
Many times. We have a kids zone on Elm Street this year where we are going to share in the wonderfulness that is an art show with our children. They are going to be able to sell their own art. They're going to go through the exact same thing that an adult artist goes through. And plus, we're going to have family activities for the families. So we are continuing to expand, but it could not have happened without you. And we truly appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you bringing
Yes.
this event to the city because
It's a great
it's
event.
wonderful. I'm saving my money to shop, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public like to make a comment? Come on up. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Andy Dickerson, 5440 South Milford Road. I just wanted to come and let you guys know how much I and other members of the community support a resolution you're going to look at tonight to form the Climate Action Commission. There's about 8 or 10 of us that have been participating in a series of meetings this summer with Ella, the Climate Action Fellow from Green Umbrella, and the meetings have gone great. We're coming up with some recommendations and further areas to study. The idea is for us to try to be a better community with all the tourism and attention we're getting. We think that it will even be better if people know that we're giving a nod to behaving more sustainably. And we think it can affect our pocketbook as well. We think we can find some real savings for the city. So I just want to encourage you to support that and can't wait to work with you all further on making recommendations. And I promise, Chief, we won't recommend putting you on an electric scooter.
Electric police cars.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public like to make a comment? All right, seeing none, that takes us to standing committee reports, public services, Ms. Chamberlain.
Thank you, Mayor. I called the Public Service Committee meeting to order at 4 o'clock on August. Present was myself, Lisa Evans, and Ralph Villardo. Staff present was Interim City Manager Chief Jamie Mills, Assistant Public Works Director David Walker, Water Supervisor Joe Castile, Finance Director Pat Worthland, Planning and Community Development Coordinator Christine Seltzer, and Executive Assistant Jackie Bain. Visitors were Springdale City Administrator Mr. John Jones. The first item was the approval of the April 12th, 2024 Public Service Committee minutes. Mr. Villardo made a motion to approve the minutes. I seconded the motion, and we all said yes. First item on the agenda was amending Ordinance 24-301, Uplift Cannabis Dispensary, Milford. Chief Mills discussed how it has come to his attention that the moratorium that we recently passed had the effect of precluding the one dispensary that we have, Uplift Dispensary, from selling adult use cannabis, which was not the intent of the ordinance 24-301. We will amend the moratorium with more specific language that would include Uplift Dispensary. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance amending Ordinance 24-301 to clarify that the moratorium does not include Uplift Dispensary regarding adult use cannabis.
Second.
Oh, second. My bad.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Villardo?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes. Next on the agenda was the discussion of submersible pump quotes for wastewater. Mr. Dave Walker reviewed the quote information regarding RAS /WAS pumps with the committee. The return activated sludge, RAS pump, ensures that activated sludge is returned to the aeration tank, enhancing the treatment process. Waste activated sludge, WAS pump, handles excess activated sludge that is removed from the treatment process. The two pumps are needed to continue to comply with EPA regulations. The backup pumps do not have variable speeds and are not capable of handling what the existing pumps handle. This is the first time that the department has experienced both pumps simultaneously failing. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to authorize the emergency purchase from Henry P. Thompson Company for the RAS and the WAS pumps in the amount of $17,500.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Then we moved along to talk about the drinking fountain installation quotes. Mr. Dave Walker reviewed 2 quotes received for replacing drinking fountains at the following 3 locations in the city: Memorial Park, Garfield Park, and Riverside 1 Park and Ball Field. The quote from AMG Plumbing came in at $17,750. The quote from Nelson Stark came in at $41,943. It was determined that there is funding in our budget for the installation of the replacement fountains. The funds will come from the 2023 hillside storm damage, which was budgeted at $27,000. Mr. Velardo wanted to confirm, is there money to fund this project? Finance Director Pat Worthland stated yes. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into an agreement with AMG Plumbing to install 3 Murdoch drinking fountains with dog bowl for a total of $17,750.
Yes, and I have a quick question, though. Did we verify, remember if did he go back
Oh, the
and change
third
that?
fountain. We don't confirm it was 3 and not 2.
Yes,
Yes.
that's just
We
what I
did?
want to
Okay.
confirm. He
Yes.
did confirm,
That's
okay,
right.
yes.
Good question. Thanks, Mr. Velardo.
You seconded, Rob?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes. Then we had a discussion regarding the F-550 dump truck transmission replacement. Mr. Joe Castile reported that the department is currently borrowing a dump truck every day from the service department since the water department dump truck is at Castrucci Ford and needs a transmission. With the closure of the dump site on Bay Road, they now have to transport everything to Evans Landscaping site, which has been problematic due to hauling to the site causing damage to the dump truck. Repairs have been ongoing for the truck. Total estimate quotes for the truck were given, one for Ford remanufactured transmission for a total of $8,017.68, and a quote for a used remanufactured transmission for a cost of $7,595.83. The truck is 12 years old, and he did not want to spend the money on this truck. Mr. Castile would like to replace the truck next year, but also mentioned that we would not be able to sell the dump truck with a bad transmission. Mr. Velardo asked how many dump trucks we have in the city. Mr. Castile answered that the water department only has 1. Mr. Walker believes that there are 4 550 trucks and 1 larger dump truck. Mr. Velardo stated that he would be highly in favor of reallocating one of those trucks rather than spending this kind of money on a 2012 dump truck that will be replaced. Ms. Chamberlain asked if there is nowhere else to dump. Mr. Castile said no, and he has tried to produce other options. And the truck is not large enough to be pulling equipment that it really should. It's pulling equipment that it really should not be pulling. It has caused multiple scheduling and customer service problems trying to get one from the service department, which is their everyday vehicle to use. Ms. Evans is okay with fixing the truck, but having an inventory of trucks and how they are used available at present at the next budget meeting. Mr. Velardo stated he'd vote no to repairing this. It's good money for a bad fix, possibly leasing a truck instead. So we had a further discussion, and we decided that we would be trading a vehicle with the service department. The truck would be assigned to the water department to use. Ms. Evans suggested that temporarily some of the trucks in the public works fleet would be assigned. And then Mr. Castile could start looking for used lease cost for dump trucks. Mr. Velardo supported having the proper truck to haul equipment in the water department. And the committee agreed to table the 550 dump truck transmission replacement request and reallocate a truck temporarily. Mr. Castile will continue to look into other options for a dump truck for the water department and looked into dumping at a Bay Road location via application to be considered. Finally, on the agenda, we had a discussion regarding potential interim manager interviews. Chief Mills mentioned that he was contacted regarding John Jones to fill the position of interim city manager. Chief Mills has had the opportunity to work with Mr. Jones in the past and was extremely impressed by him and was interested in having a conversation with him, and also felt it would be beneficial to have Mr. Jones relay his thoughts to the committee, and they would have the opportunity to interact with him at this meeting. With the committee members, it was determined that if he can help, he will. The committee members agreed to invite Mr. Jones to come back on the 20th of August to discuss more during a city council executive session. Mr. Jones agreed. There being no further business, the meeting adjourned at 5:01 with a motion from Mr. Velardo, seconded by Ms. Evans, and we all said yes.
All right, thank you very much for your report. That takes us to Administrative Services, and who is going to read that?
Kim is.
Am I?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Chamberlain.
So, we had an Administrative Service Committee meeting on August 14th. Mr. Parrish called the meeting to order at 5:07. Branstetter reviewed project status for engineering services. Mr. Bruce Branstetter provided down of several projects and wanted to bring everyone up to speed on the status for Wallace Supply Discharge, Wallace Avenue Water Tower, OPWC grant, future water grants. The committee appreciated Mr. Branstetter's updates for the projects. The next item on the agenda was the discussion of the Climate Action Team codification. I discussed how Ella O'Malley from Green Umbrella was here as a fellow from Green Umbrella. She put together the members are looking at ways to look into how we can be saving money. Model what it looks like to choose these resources, save so that would be their chairperson of the committee. Volunteer laws and an ordinance which are included in. Rochelle Rapp and Vanessa Hanna are co-chairing for now. I feel that this is a very worthwhile project. We have a group of enthusiastic residents, and I feel that this will grow more in the future. We also understand their concerns as residents. Does the city value this as others value it? Will we have resources? Will they have a budget? Mr. Parrish stated that if the group has already identified ways to save money as a taxpayer, I am already a fan of this commission. I feel that eventually, as we have a climate action plan, now is the time to do it before we are deemed we have to do it. Do we have to have at some point a sustainability coordinator job? For example, energy in our facilities, and what does it look like for our fleet, and how do we take care of that, as well as parks and recreation and farmers market. There are many other sustainable projects which could fall under a job position. The city could save enough money. Ella felt that would actually pay for a position going forward. And moving forward, will the new city manager have eyes for this type of a project and program for the city? Mr. Parrish stated that this makes sense to make this similar to how Parks and Recreation Commission works. They meet and propose ideas to council. If this commission can save us money and make us greener in the process, and we continue growing with this program, now is the time to codify. We will eventually need a sustainability plan. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance creating municipal codes dictating the existence and incorporating the bylaws of the Climate Action.
Second.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes. Oh, wait, let me see, I think that was the end of my report. Okay. There being no further business, the meeting adjourned at 5:34 with a motion from myself, seconded by Mr. Thompson. And we
You
all
want to read
said
the
yes.
city manager report too?
Good.
That takes us to the interim city manager report and the police report.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm pleased to report updates on several projects. Paving is complete on South Milford Road, Mill Street, Miami Avenue, and Lakefield Drive. Pavement markings will be completed within the next 2 weeks. A reminder that Kleinger's Engineering will remain our engineer for the 2026 US 50 Lila Avenue Street Improvements Project and the Jim Terrell Canoe Kayak Launch. TEC Engineering will be the engineer for all other projects. The Jim Terrell Canoe and Kayak Launch paving will begin next week. Area businesses and residents are being notified. The Five Points Landing Farmers Market continues every second and fourth Tuesday in the evening from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. through September 24th, as well as Saturday mornings from 8 a.m. until noon through October 5th. Bids for the Wallace Avenue Water Storage Tank will be received at 745 Center Street, Suite 218, Milford, Ohio, until September 6, 2024 at 11 a.m. local time. More information. A big shout out to the Wiseau's Landscaping for their great work. Several compliments on how beautiful they look. The Milford First United Methodist Church will hold a dedication ceremony for the Together mural that was created by Artworks over the past year on the wall of the church facing Five Points Landing Park this Friday, August 23rd. They'll gather at 5:30 p.m. with presentations beginning at 6. We join them in their excitement about the message the mural sends to the community alongside the beauty of our newest park and look forward to celebrating this collaborative effort. Our annual National Night Out was held last Tuesday in partnership with Miami Township. This was our 12th year holding that event. Our annual Citizens Police Academy begins September 4th. And this weekend, if you're looking for something fun to do, come down to Five Points Landing for Das Kiwanis Fest, a family-friendly event put on by our local Kiwanis chapter and sponsored by local companies. There will be food, games, and music, and all proceeds will stay in the community to support our children and their families. We have one standing committee meeting, August 27th. Administrative Services Committee will meet at 5:30 p.m. A reminder that our city offices are closed on Labor Day, September 2nd, and our next regularly scheduled council meeting is Tuesday, September 3rd at 7 p.m. when we return to our regular schedule. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That takes us to Chief Baird and Fire and EMS.
Good evening, everyone. Before I forget, I want to acknowledge Chief Mill's department. We had a situation in the Little Miami River several weeks ago involving a female who was injured, and one of the pictures that I saw taken during the event included a picture of a number of firefighters and police officers carrying Loveland Sims' boat into the river, and I wanted to note the fact that I'm pretty sure the police officer, or at least one of the police officers in the picture, was one of your new ones that had been on the job for 5 minutes and was already knee-deep in water in the Little Miami River. So appreciate that. If you wouldn't mind extending that compliment to your officers that were there that day. Thank you. Just a few things. First off, I'm pleased to report the department received its second State of Ohio Ambulance Board grant for retention and recruitment of $60,900. That is specifically for bonuses and retention bonuses to the employees of the department, which that was distributed to all employees, both full and part-time, based upon hours worked or their career status, in nice, generous attempts to keep them working here for us. So we appreciate that. That ultimately was American Rescue Act money that was funneled through the state of Ohio for distribution. The department was also awarded a grant, a FEMA Assistance to Firefighters grant of $71,414.76 to purchase large diameter fire hose and associated equipment and tools to go along with that, as well as to pay for paramedic school tuition for one of our existing employees who has already been identified. So we're very pleased about that. The total project cost is $74,985.50. So we are on the hook for 5% of that project. So somewhere around $3,800. So again, working to bring what many people pay to their federal taxes back to Milford and helps the department. We probably, as Councilman Thompson can tell you if he puts his other hat on, we're probably one of the only departments left in the region still using the smaller hose for supplying water from the fire truck, from the fire hydrant to the fire truck. It's been effective for us for a number of years, but quite frankly, that was one of the areas we just needed to get with the rest of the program, if you will. So we're pleased to have that paid for by others. We also, you all are very aware of the fact that we've been running a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector campaign for the better part of 2 years now under another federal grant. We have brought that to did a lot of great work. We put a lot of smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors in the community. I think we're a safer community because of it. However, it became very clear earlier this year that we had pretty much run the course on that grant. So we applied for a grant amendment to install a electronic digital sign, message sign in front of the fire station. And we were awarded that amendment. So we are in the process of project together. And one of the caveats is that 75% of the slides, I forget the terminology, have to be aimed at fire prevention messages, since it was a fire prevention and safety grant. But we're at our leisure to use it for the other 25% for other messages that we would see fit. So anyway, we have that project underway. We hope to have that sign installed by Christmas. And the tax levy renewal, to my knowledge, you have taken all or most of the necessary legislative action for the tax levy renewal to be on the ballot in November. The Firefighters Club, as always, will operate the campaign to go out. We will go out and do door-to-door work to explain the need to our residents. I do want to point out that this is a renewal. This will not result in any new taxes. This simply renews the 5-year fire and EMS property tax levy that was passed in 2019 with a promise and a hope that we could make a renewal only in '24. We're following up with that and hoping we can get 10 years out of the 2 without having to go back to the voters. That one's a little bit iffy, but we're looking pretty good. It's holding together fairly nicely in spite of all the changes in the economics of running a fire department. And I want to acknowledge Walmart. The Firefighters Club asked for a grant from Walmart on Chamber Drive to purchase replacement flags for the funerals and memorial services that we participate in. We have the unfortunate need sometimes to do ceremonial efforts to pay tribute to fallen first responders, military veterans, and the like. The department has always had flags. Those flags have been well used not only by Milford, but other communities around us. They just, quite frankly, had reached the point in time where it was time to replace them, and Walmart generously stepped up with its community grant program to cover the cost, the $1,500 cost of those flags. So we're very, very thankful for that, and we'll hope to have one of them on display on 9/11, which takes me to the community's service will be on Wednesday, September 11th, 2024 at 9 o'clock at the Fire Station Memorial, rain or shine. We'd like to invite you. We keep it brief, try to make it to be not a 2-hour operation. We try to get it taken care of in 20 to 30 minutes, pay appropriate respect while observing the fact that it is a weekday and people have things they need to be doing. And so I believe that covers everything that I wanted to. Do you have any questions for the Fire and EMS? I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Chief.
you.
That takes us to council comments. I have one thing. I just want to double check with everyone. We need we need people on the Planning Commission and BZA. We're short on both. So I was going to have Jackie re-advertise both. I know a couple months ago we took some applications, so I was going to see if Jackie could reach out to those people and let them know that we're going to re-advertise and see if they're still
How many
interested.
spots do we have?
I think one on each. Christine, is that correct? 2 BZA, 1 planning.
Okay.
So we'll have 3 spots to fill. So if you're watching and you applied before, Jackie will reach out to you and let you see if you're still interested. And if you're interested, look for the posting and send us your information. Any other council comments?
I would like to make a motion that we go into executive session pursuant to Section 3.051 of the Milford City Charter for the sole purpose to consider the appointment, employment, compensation of a public employee or official.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Okay, any other council comments? All right, that takes us to Mr. Pacheco and ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 24-203, an ordinance imposing a 180-day moratorium on adult use cannabis dispensaries and prohibiting marijuana cultivators and processors within the city of Milford. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio. Whereas by ordinance number 24-301, City Council established a 180-day moratorium prohibiting the authorization or establishment of any adult use cannabis business or operation within the city of Milford, including but not limited to adult use cannabis processors, cultivators, or dispensaries. And whereas for the duration of this 180-day moratorium, the city shall not take any action to authorize or to establish any adult use cannabis business or operation within the city of Milford, including but not limited to adult use cannabis processors, cultivators, or dispensaries. And whereas City Council wants to clarify that this moratorium does not apply to Cascade Southern Ohio LLC's AKA Uplift Dispensary location in the city at 401 Rivers Edge Drive. Section 1, City Council clarifies that the moratorium passed by ordinance number 24-301 does not apply to Cascade Southern Ohio LLC's location in the city at 401 Rivers Edge Drive, but otherwise reaffirms such ordinance. Section 2, pursuant to and in accordance with sections 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Motion to suspend the rules and read by title only?
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ordinance number 24-203, an ordinance imposing a 180-day moratorium on adult use cannabis dispensaries and prohibiting marijuana cultivators and processors within the city of Milford.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ordinance number 24-304, an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into a contract with the Henry P. Thompson Company for the emergency purchase of RAS WAS pumps for $17,500. Section, now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio, Section 1. City Council hereby authorizes the interim city manager to purchase return-activated sludge and waste-activated sludge pumps from Henry P. Thompson Company at a cost not to exceed $17,500 per the attached quote. Immediately to continue to comply with EPA regulations. Additionally, the backup pumps are failing simultaneously, do not have variable speeds, and are not capable of handling the volume handled by the existing pumps. The attached quote is fully incorporated by reference under and in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, under and in accordance with Sections 12.05 and 12.07 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Motion to suspend the rules and read by title only?
Second.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ordinance number 24-304, an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into a contract with the Henry P. Thompson Company for the emergency purchase of RAS WAS pumps for $17,500.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ordinance number 24-305, an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into an agreement with AMG Plumbing to install 3 Murdoch drinking fountains with a dog bowl for a total of $17,750 at city parks. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio, Section 1, City Council hereby authorizes the interim city manager to take all action necessary to enter into an agreement with AMG Plumbing to install 3 Murdoch water fountains and a dog bowl for use at city parks at a cost not to exceed $17,750. That price quote is attached and fully incorporated by reference under and in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, under and in accordance with Sections 12.05 and 12.07 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ordinance number 24-305, an ordinance authorizing the interim city manager to enter into an agreement with AMG Plumbing to install 3 Murdoch drinking fountains with dog bowl for a total of $17,750 at city parks.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Ordinance number 24-306, an ordinance establishing the Climate Action Steering Commission and bylaws governing the commission. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio, Section 1. City Council hereby establishes the Climate Action Steering Commission and the attached bylaws to govern the commission. Council may change those bylaws or dissolve the commission at any time. Section 2, under and in accordance with sections 12.05 and 12.07 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Motion to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second?
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ordinance number 24-306, an ordinance establishing the Climate Action Steering Commission and bylaws governing the commission.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you, Mayor.
I don't believe we have any old business, so we'll be going into executive session, and we will return only to adjourn the meeting. So thank you all for coming.